All right. Hey, folks, it's a little later in the day than I wanted to, but we are going to continue work today. I think we're going to work on the Bastion today. We're breaking down materials and Bastion orders to craft items, both magical, non-magical, and consumable magic items. So that's what we're breaking down currently. Give me a second here to check my signal, make sure we're coming through loud and clear. Doing a mic check. Currently, holy Hannah, yeah, that's coming through very loud, very clear. So that sits good. I'm going to take a moment here and update my social medias just to give a shout out so folks can catch wind of this, maybe while we're still live or at worst after the fact. And so if you are familiar with my channel already, you can skip ahead like a minute and we'll be done with the intros. But if you're caught here in time space with me here now, or if you're new to the channel, you just don't know the score, what's up? My name is Theurgy. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish. I make a game. I illustrate it, and then I publish it online. I've been focusing specifically on Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition since about 2018, and I started DMing back in '87. Let's see. I started freelance illustration in 1999, and DMsGuild stuff in 2018. So. I got all my social media boosts done. Let me rearrange my screen here real quick to click things. If you're on the X Twitter platform, that I'm at Theurgy. I'm posting illustrations of like work in progress and other things that we've done. So you can catch me there. Here on YouTube, you can like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we're live in the future. Hold on real quick. Let me fix my business here. There we go. Yeah, like, subscribe, bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. And hey, new subscribers, thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate you. Here's a playlist of different command mechanics that we've been implementing prior to the 2024 updates, including guilds and kingdoms, which we are distilling into the Bastion system, and the squads and army mechanics, which we have as squadrons in the Spelljammer document that we published, which you can locate here. For Spelljammer combat and exploration includes fighter combat, fleet combat, squadrons of ships, and other scales of combat using the 5e game mechanics. And it also it's kind of a different take on what they've added as mobs in the 2024 book. Mobs is a little clunky. We have a little bit more of a smooth progression into scaling damage and hitting. It's a little different from the mob, but it uses 5e mechanics that you're already familiar with. So it'll work smoothly for you, and which we will be publishing into In Command of Guilds and Kingdoms eventually, when we can get around to In Command of Squads and Armies is what that will be once we get these other books off and published. So today with the Bastions, you can look at the full playlist here document. It's on Google Docs. For you, it's read only, so it's look, don't touch. But you can see it's the exact same document that we're using here now. So you are most welcome to drop in and read along as we build. When we last left off, we were down on the 30-something page of this document, and we were building out. We had just finished restructuring the Bastion events and complications. The Bastion system has been rebuilt into a ability check or like skill tests for your Bastion to perform up to complete the orders that you issue it. Depending, there's 5 ranks, 1 to 5. First rank you can gain as early as first level. 5th rank is effectively like a 17th level NPC team. So you have that aspect working with you. And I'm going to fix my screen there. There we go. So as you gain ranks, your ability check increases in proficiency, bonus, and ability. There's 7 orders that were already established using the DMG. The 7 orders that you can issue: crafting, harvesting, maintaining, empowering, trade, research, recruit. Yeah, those are the different actions, and depending on what you want your Bastion to do this week is going to determine what kind of order you would issue. So we provide guidelines for what what you can expect to accomplish at each rank of the guild with whatever order it is that you issue. And your guild, your Bastion, gains proficiency in the maintain order plus one other order, and then every time you gain a rank, you gain another proficiency. And when you gain that proficiency, it allows you to spend temporary resources, kind of like a mana pool. You spend the mana pool to add dice, like inspiration dice, to increase the results of the ability check that you make, the Bastion D20 test that you make to succeed at the order that was issued to your Bastion. You can also invest points into facilities. So, I'm thinking things through. What I was thinking about was how we've we'll get to that. I'm having thoughts about how to differentiate one description of a facility from another, and I think I'm going to be borrowing from Adam Hancock's Balduran's Guide to Kingdom Building. Adam had been working with me. He was my editor for the Spelljammer book, and he was also my proofreader and editor for the Guilds and Kingdoms book that we were developing. But we placed that on hold for looking at the Bastion system, and I hyper focused into the Spelljammer book, which he helped with. So thanks, Adam, and thanks for being on board and permissive of me making use of ideas that you have from Balduran's Guide. Balduran's Guide basically is that as your community grows in size, you increase the ability score of the different types of what would be orders that you can issue. But we just structure it as proficiency bands, like +2, +3, +4, +5 from level 1 to 17. Rank the 1 to 5, +2, +3, +4, +5, +6 is how the ranking works. So we break down, instead of having a 20 level progression, you just have a 5 rank progression, which hits at every proficiency bonus that your character would have. So your Bastion can scale up automatically with your character as you gain proficiency bonuses, or as its own separate mini game or resource management system, you can have your Bastion scale at a different rate than what your levels might be. So you could have a low-level character with a high-level Bastion, or you could have a high-level character with a low-level Bastion, or you could have the Bastion just automatically raise levels, raise ranks as your character gains increased proficiency bonus modifiers. Hey, what's up, Steve? Oi! So last session we broke down when you fail these ability checks, as I was explaining before, when you issue an order to your Bastion, you make the die roll to see if they accomplish the order. If you hit the die, if you pass the D20 test, just an ability check, you pass the D20 test, then you succeed at the task. And if that task requires more than 1 week to complete, well, this week that task has been completed, and you'll just continue making those die rolls until you're done. If you issue an order that takes an entire season, while you have other tasks that only require 1 week, generally you make the die roll as soon as you issue order. That's when you make the die roll to see if you're going to accomplish if the order will be successful or not. And then it's however long it takes for the order to succeed. So if you're doing one task that takes a week, and you issue an order that takes a season to complete, you would make the die roll for both of them. And then if the die roll succeeds, you know that, okay, great, once this timeline resolves, I'll have whatever that order was will be completed, and I'll get my resources back for me to be able to issue, or I'll free up that order to be able to make a new order. Because like if I have 3 orders and one order takes a season to complete, I don't get that order back until that task is complete, or I scrap that idea so I can do something different. right? So that's basically how that works. If I fail the die roll, it's not you don't succeed. It's a fail forward system. So if I fail the die roll, it means that the Bastion wasn't capable of fulfilling the order with the resources and staff and circumstances of the moment. It needs, a complication has arisen that needs to be resolved so that you can proceed, so you'll be able to complete the task on time. If you ignore the complication, it delays completion of the task until the complication is resolved. If you relegate that task and you devote resources for the Bastion to resolve it, then it becomes a different type of die. Like if you issued an order to craft a magic weapon and they fail the die roll, you're going to make a magic weapon, but something's going to crop up, roll a d6, and one of these complications arise, like recruiting. Like the current hirelings lack the skills needed to produce the magic item that you want. If you were there, you would automatically be able to provide that expertise. So maybe it's just an issue of you showing up and doing it yourself. But if you don't want to deal that, you could invest additional resources from your Bastion to hire a specialist that is a high enough rank to be able to create that weapon for you. So like issuing the order might not cost any resources because you're just issuing the order to get it done. But if they can't do it with how the Bastion currently exists, they need either your direct involvement to achieve the goal, or you need to invest points from your Bastion to give it extra dice to try to get over the hump. So that's the idea behind that. And we have that since there's 7 actions, then whatever action you issue, there's 6 other actions that did not get issued. So if I issue the empowerment order and they run into a complication, I'll roll a d6 and you'll see empowerment is not a solution that exists on the list because the problem was created in the empowerment order. You can't use empowerment to get out of the order. You have to find a different way to resolve the problem. So, yeah. So thanks a lot, Steve. And each order has its own unique set. I mean, there's some redundancies and some repeating tasks that come up. But as the order changes, like whatever it is that you're trying, like if it'd be a big difference between, like, say, recruiting a spelljamming pilot versus recruiting a purple worm wrangler, for instance. You're going to run into different kind of complications based on the type of people that you're attempting to recruit. So you flavor it to taste, but this gives you general themes of how stuff works. And we'll go through and we'll probably massage and sculpt these responses, but I think they work well enough for alpha testing as it is. So that's where we got to last time. But as we went through that process, we boiled down the process of creating items inside of the game. And I had some couch time with the family over the holidays, so I had the opportunity to drop in all of the items from the player's handbook. All the different type of like literally all the player's handbook gear. I don't have all the individual weapons listed as of yet. But I think what I was going to spend some time doing this session is, well, we already have the list of tools and the artisan tools, and we have all the items from the adventuring gear list, as well as mounts and tack, vehicles, siege equipment, and the rarity that we have of value. Excuse me for a second. So rarity of magic items. We know that magic items cost X amount of gold based on their rarity. Common, uncommon, and let's just go up to the top of the page so you can see, because that's where we're going to be heading here anyway. Happy Honda days. Bless you too. Okay, so here's our costs. We know that common, uncommon, rare, very rare, and legendary. So common items, their base costs. Consumables are half cost. So the typical cost involved for a common magic item is 100, then 400 gold for uncommon, 4,000 for rare, 40,000 for very rare, and 200,000 for a legendary magic item. So, and this corresponds with it. It's the rank of your bastion dictates the level. Hold on, I want to pick up that line. There we go. Get them all on the same page. Like just like your character has to be a certain level to be able to create magic items, like you need to be able to have like the teleportation spell prepared if you want to make if you want to create a teleportation object. Similarly, the rank of your bastion dictates the amount of gold that they can like work with at a time. And so like an airship, for example, is 40,000 gold. You may or may not consider an airship to be a very rare object, but it's worth 40,000 gold according to the book. So that puts it in line with a very rare object, which means that if you want to construct if you want to make an airship from scratch that's going to work, you're going to need to have a 4th rank bastion creating that airship. Basically, you have to have a pretty advanced skydock to be able to create that sort of a ship. So that's going to require a pretty large organization. So the gold value can generally dictate the level of complexity or how grand the vision can be of what you're creating through your bastion, and be able to trust that your bastion will just be able to do it. So characters can attempt anything. There's DCs, DC is 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Not that difficult, but you also have to be of a level high enough to be able to create that item. So once your bastion is a high enough level to be able to do so, you can then add, like, once I get to a 4th rank bastion, I can add a very rare magic item or something worth 40,000 gold, or a bunch of small stuff that are worth in combination up to 40,000 gold, like mundane stuff. You can't mass produce magic items, but non-magical items like swords, shields, cotton swabs, you can mass produce those things at higher scales of operation. Like you can, like a 1st rank bastion can produce like 10 long swords that are worth 10 gold a piece. In 1 week, my 1st rank blacksmith shop can crack out 10 swords. My 2nd rank blacksmith shop can crack out 40 swords. My 4th rank manufacturing center can crack out 4,000 long swords per week. So like the scale, but I would still only be able to create like the very rare, if unless I had like a bastion that would specifically allow me to break this rule. This 4th rank bastion would still only be able to produce, say, 1 + 1 sword per week. Because even though that +1 sword is only worth 400 gold as an uncommon item, it's a magic item, so it ties up the facility. But it would only tie up the facility for a week, as opposed to a very rare object which would require a full season. So, and there's variant rules and exceptions and facilities. Like if you invest additional points, you can produce this thing faster, for instance. Or like if you have this certain, like if you're using an artificer that has plans for this particular item, they can reduce the time that it takes as well. So you can reduce time frame by by investing your bastion's resources in specific ways, and having characters or NPCs on your team that can help expedite those things as well. 1 second. So, next step. We have the facility, and we've broken down, based on the DMG, we've broken down what each facility is capable of producing. How many do we have here? 1, 2, and this should be trophy, not trophy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at the scriptorium. Come on, mouse, work with me. 10 at the scriptorium. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 at the laboratory. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 20. Yeah, there's 29 different facilities in the DMG. And here is the stuff that you can produce with it. So there's gear that we can create with the laboratory, but it's gear based on which artisan tools are in the lab. I think that's how that works. What I need to do, go back real quick, is verify. What I didn't write down is like the greenhouse. I think it has specific things here, but like the laboratory, the workshop, the smithy, and something else somewhere in here has access to, like, you can build anything that's available through like the smithy tools, for instance, at the smithy. So I want to go back through real quick and look at what that language is specifically, so that we can categorize what these can do. So what I need to do right now is extract this as a separate sheet. So this is going to be a little grindy. We're going to do some grindy stuff. So let's see. So these are, this is basically the items that are broken down that each of these facilities can produce. But we wanted to codify the entire player's handbook so that if it exists, and also all the DMG stuff, all the magic items, we also have the siege weapons that are in here already. And again, we don't need to know the specific cost of the item. We just need to know what its comparable rarity is, because we're not dealing with an economy simulator where you have to have X profit and stuff like that. No, all we need is a facility that's capable of producing the rarity of item based on its cost. If the facility is of sufficient rank, you can build the thing. It'll have a DC based on its rarity, but as soon as you hit that benchmark, you can do it. So, right. So like breastplates, splint mail, those are over. They're uncommon. They're more than 100 gold pieces, but less than 4,000 gold. So they're uncommon items. 100 up to 100, up to 400, up to 4,000, up to 40,000, up to 200,000. Right. So anything between 100 and 400 in value is uncommon. Like a breastplate, for instance, is 250. Breast plate. There you go. But half plate is, I think, like 500, or maybe it's 750. No, like 400 gold, and like full plate mail is like 750. So that's above 400, but less than 4,000. So technically, that is a rare. That's a rare quality. But you're also like creating a shell of armor around somebody. That's actually a fairly difficult task. So being a third rank blacksmith shop would probably, in comparison, like making a horseshoe. Like a horseshoe is like a common item, versus full plate armor. That on a scale of competence from level 1 to 9, I would say the full plate would probably be close to the 9th level as opposed to the first level. So, while like making shields, like a shield might be a first rank task, like bending hoops to make chainmail, that sounds like a second tier uncommon type thing. Anyway, the math lines up between the cost and the rarity of stuff. So we had broken down the rarity of stuff. All of these things are, like all the alchemist supplies, for instance, all of this stuff is less than 100. So it's all common. But then there's also like, what can you build with the Tinker's tools? I didn't spell out because they're in the description, but it would be useful if I included each of the things that could be created with those in the description underneath them. So like the disguise kit, I can make a costume. So I should list that as something that can be made with a disguise kit. Well, I believe that's what you can do. So we're gonna look at those specifically, and we're gonna break down by subcategory, like all the adventuring gear that exists. It breaks down, most, if not all of it, breaks down into can be made with these artisan tools. So it's gonna be a little bit grindy. We're gonna be bouncing back and forth between charts and tables and basically filling ours out. But this is technically the next task on our list. So the next thing I want to do is make sure I spell out. I want to go to each of these facilities and be sure to spell out like exactly what can we do with each of them. It's like, for example, workshop. The workshop is a creative space where useful items can be crafted. Artisan tools. The workshop comes equipped with 6 different kinds of artisan tools chosen from the following list. When you issue the craft order to this facility, choose one of the following options. Adventuring gear. The facility hirelings craft anything that can be made with the tools you chose when you added the workshop, the 6 items. Or you can make a magic item, and that magic item can be an implement. So there's a list of implements, which is different from the list of wands and the list of scrolls and the list of armor. It's there's armaments, which is like armor and weapons, or some other like boots of speed, for instance, might be considered an armament. But then there's implements like beads of force or a parry-up of mind protection. Like these are implements. But there's also like relics, and relics are magic items that require divination spells specifically to create, like a sensor of elemental summoning, for instance. I don't know how that works now because they changed summoning spells in the DMG in the Player's Handbook for 2024, and I haven't actually looked into that yet. But that might be an example of something that would be a relic because it's specifically made with cleric, like with divine magic, as opposed to arcana, like a wand of magic missiles, which is made specifically with a wizard or an arcane spell magic missiles. So some of the facilities allow you to make any magic item as long as it's on that list of arcana, which we have here listed as arcana magic items. But then, I mean, because that could be that could be like an array of stuff. But mechanically, it's just arcane spells. So if instead then we come down to like for example the scriptorium, you can make any kind of magical scroll in the scriptorium. It could be druidic, cleric, or arcane. It doesn't matter. The scriptorium makes scrolls, and as long as your bastion is of high enough rank, it's assumed that you have spellcasters like spellcaster sidekicks, or like sages, or like archmage NPC hirelings in your bastion that are capable of casting the spells equivalent to your bastion's level. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 to 9. And of course, in all my games, like with the spell point systems that I use, I established that Wish is a quote-unquote 10th level spell, which you would have access to at 9th level. And interestingly enough, bastions can't produce wishes. They can do anything from level cantrip to 9, but they can't do wishes. So the mechanics that I have in the game are helping to reinforce that idea of wishing as a player character thing, because bastions at 5th rank cap out at 9th level, and with my system, wishes are technically a 10th level spell. So that's a fun little nuance that yet again just kind of leans into the idea of the way that we design things here works pretty well. So I like it. I like it when the systems that the mechanics that we build are start to become like they make more sense. The more stuff you read in the game, like my spell point system makes more sense the more you read into how D&D works. Anyway, that's just me. So, but yeah, okay, great. So like the war room and the trophy room, these don't. This actually has recruit action. The research action and the empower. But the empowering can either create magic items, or it can give your characters temporary bonuses based on whatever facilities you're investing resources into. Like if I have 2 points invested into a training arena, I could give everyone on my team that trains their stealth, the stealth skill, while I keep my bastion points invested in that skill. So the characters can have it on their character sheet as long as I keep the 2 points devoted in my bastion to sustaining training for stealth. So maybe your rogue doesn't need that because they're naturally proficient with it, but the wizard isn't. So if the wizard isn't, they can continue to go back to the bastion to brush up on their stealth training. So while the facility has those points scored, reserved, your characters can add that skill, and then you can swap it out whenever you issue new orders to your Bastion. You can stop sustaining that and replace it with something else. So like if your Paladin wants Sentinel feat and your Barbarian wants, say, I don't know, the defense fighting style. There you go. Those are both feats. So feats are 3rd rank, but they're different feats. So I'd have to sustain 3 points for one feat and then 3 points for the next feat. That'd be 6 points I would have to devote in total in my Bastion, so that any character that wants could pick up those feats. There you go. That's actually really similar to in 3rd edition. They had these specific encounters that they would design to give your characters feats for free. They were like skill tests. They were side quest adventures, one shots. That when your characters survived the one shot, they would gain this feat as a reward, like the Otyugh pit. Going into a dirty pit and fighting Otyugh and getting out alive gives you, like, it was great fortitude, which like gave you a bonus on like constitution and strength saving throws, basically, and it gave you resistance to poison. That's essentially what the great fortitude feat was in 3rd edition. So translating that, go into a pit, you fight Otyugh in the Swill. It doesn't have to specifically like be the Otyugh pit, but if you ever fight Otyugh in a scummy environment, you could check off Otyugh pit completed, and then everyone that participated in that fight, as part of their level up, they would also get a bonus feat of great fortitude. This is kind of like that same idea. The Bastion system's like, hey, I want to have a Broom of Flying. Okay, you get a Broom of Flying, and it'll be ready for you in 6 weeks. And then you come back in 6 weeks and you get your Broom of Flying. That's how the Bastion system currently works. We break it down. Again, we have a crafting check and stuff like this, but this facilities idea of granting skill proficiencies or weapon masteries or feats or saving throw proficiencies, it's the same idea of I put points into it, so it's something that I have, and since I have it, I want to set this saving throw or this skill / expertise or this feat or whatever. That's how you, the higher rank you are, the more things you can add to your character sheet for points. So that's the idea there. So some of these Bastions do nothing other than like research. You can perform research checks at the trophy room, but you can also get a buff off of your characters, like temporary hit points or something like that, which is technically empowering your character with a benefit that isn't a magic item. Otherwise, empowering means enchant an item to have magic. So it's kind of like enchanting your character with these extra abilities or enchanting this equipment to be able to do this magical stuff. Either way, that's what empowerment means in general. So that's what the empower order is. But none, like trade, recruit, empower, research, maintain, none of these tasks, none of these orders specifically have anything to do with creating items, except for like reliquary. You can empower. That wasn't the right one to pick. Like the scriptorium would have the empower action to craft magical scrolls, but as we had determined previously, our last episode, we had confirmed that basically every facility that can craft something can also empower that same something, assuming that you have empower as an order that you're proficient with. So if you want to create things from scratch and empower them with magic, you have to be proficient in both the crafting and the empower orders. So you need to be 2nd or higher rank to be able to do both of those things. Because at 1st rank, you have 2 proficiencies. One is automatically maintain, which is how you get your lifestyle, how you maintain your lifestyle, which keeps the Bastion open. And then the other one is whatever you want. Like, it could be craft. And then when you gain 2nd rank as a Bastion, you have 3 orders that you're proficient with. So you could change them if you wanted to, but you're always have maintain. You had craft before, you could swap that out to something else. But if you have both craft and now if you pick up empower, your Bastion is now capable of maintaining an income by creating items both mundane and now magical to be able to send in and out the door. Craft and empower, that could be any number of different, that you could portray that in a number of different ways. So each facility that we have listed here currently, the way that it's written in the DMG, only some of these facilities allow you to craft or empower items. Once I actually start and then finish categorizing all of the gear that's in the books that you can create, once they have like the artisans per room and all the things you can create with each type of artisan tool, we'll have a full layout of all equipment. And then we can come back up in here. It's like, is there something sensible that we would be able to produce with stables? Like, for instance, stables might be used to raise horses. Makes sense that you might do that on stables. So, like, maybe that'll become a decision that we do with that. So we'll be able to assess through here, like, would it make sense that something be associated with crafting stuff here? And once we have that laid out, like, a pub will mean something. Like, we can craft ale, beverages, magical potions. Those are only things technically the DMG says you can make with a pub, but it also doesn't say that you can create ale, for instance, anywhere else in the back. Like, if you want to create ale, you actually have to have a pub in the DMG Bastion system, because nothing else here is properly equipped to make ale. Or you could have a storehouse that you could trade and get ale, like maybe from a nearby dwarven community. But if you go to that dwarven community and you try to figure out how did they make that ale, they would have to have a pub. So we're going to, once we finish this gear process and see all the things that you can make with all the equipment and all these different facilities as per the DMG, once we have that breakdown, we can start seeing, do we need, like, what are the commonalities? What are the differences? How do we diversify? Can we use these facility titles to have gatekeeping somehow to, like, being able to create ale? Like, would we be able to create ale if we have a greenhouse? Maybe. But it doesn't say specifically that you can in the DMG right now. So no, you can't. So we might want to rebuild it so that we have more flexibility and theme where the facility itself doesn't matter. The name is just a name. You can replace that. Your facilities in your Bastion can be whatever you want them to be. You have a 5th rank harvesting operation that's focused on gathering plant material. That could be cotton. It could be peat to make scotch. You know, whatever it is, it's up to you. So maybe we need to make a little bit more structure, not as structured as Bastion 2024 is, and in like what you like in that Mother May I permission slip of what you can and can't build based on the facility. Instead, make that an issue of your rank of your facility. But then, how do we skin those proficiencies? Do we skin them with different ranks of facilities? That's what the Baldron's Guide to Kingdom Building does. Or do we disintegrate that more and create a theme where, like, a greenhouse and a garden are actually the same thing? They're just different it's just a different description of the same mechanic. That's what we're fighting through right now. So I'm going to go through the facilities here real quick and make sure I properly list out what it is that we have. So let's go to our list. The workshop says there is a list of tools that you get to choose from. Did you bring your tools? Yes, I did. Artisan tools. Here they are. And how many of these are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And up here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What do I got going on down in here that isn't up there? Mason's tools? Do we have Mason's tools in here? Yes. I guess we go through the list. Alchemist supplies. That is a negative. Brewer supplies, also that is a negative. So the workshop has very specific tools that it's capable of using. That is, of the 17, this has what, 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, 11. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to peel open a notepad here. Bop, bop, bop. Let's go up here and let's go with Brett. Yeah, it's a little sloppy. Comma blip, comma blip. Comma blip, comma blip. I'm sure we can find a better way to organize this stuff. Fireplace is getting a little sassy over there. Workshop. Hold on a second. So the workshop, the way that it's written, is you get to pick 2 of these. Oh, a 6. You get 6 out of these. 6 out of 10. So like I would pick 6 of these, and then whatever equipment it is that I can build with the carpenter tools, I would have those listed. Oh, this is going to get complicated. But those are the tools that we have. So we'll put in parentheses, pick 6. Oy vey. And then we have the carpenter tools. The order is to create implements or create anything from the adventuring gear. Cool. Okay, so that resolves workshop and recruiting and recruit. Research. Trinket trophy, right. Empowers training. That's the training hall. Theater is just empower, gives you the inspiration die. Teleportation circle recruits a spellcaster, which is already subsumed into the facilities. Storeroom is just trade actions. You can't actually produce anything. Stables is also trade. You don't actually produce anything. You just trade horses or whatever. Smithy, here we go. Smithy tools, craft. When you issue the craft order, the facilities choose one of the familiar craft smith tools. The facility hirelings craft anything that can be made with smith tools using the rules in the player's handbook. So smithy equals smith tools. Smithy's. Oh my God, Smithy's tools aren't listed in the workshop. Wow, that's crazy. Pick 6 can create tools and adventuring gear for those selected. There. There. See, tools, adventuring gear, and armaments. Not like specifically like weapons and shields specifically, but armaments in general. And then we go to the scriptorium, craft, book replica, calligrapher. There it is, calligrapher supplies. Come on, mouse. Stop messing around. Calligraphers. Supplies. Plus adventuring gear. Copy book. Forged documents. Magical scrolls. What else you got? Yeah, paperwork. Scriptorum, Sanctum, Empower, Rights, and the word of recall thing, whatever. Sanctum, I should probably note that. Empower buff. When it says empower buff, that means it generally gives like a charm, a relic, or a boon of some sort. And in this instance, it was a recall, a word of recall spell, as though your Bastion is sanctified with a sanctuary, whatever that spell is, that allows you to word of recall to it. So we'll have to when we go down to the facilities section to make like special features that you can do with the Bastion, we'll need to take that into account. So where we have all these things that says empower buff, that warrants us taking another look at what does this thing do, because if we can build a scaffold of relics, boons, charms, blessings, and or whatever, a stack like that, then we'll have another thing that we can structure narrative around. So we're looking at Sanctuary. Sanctuary is craft a spell, sacred bonus for either Druidic focus or Divine, but that is all it does. And that is a Sanctuary. Sanctuary for Druids. Druid or Divine spell focus and empowering buff. Sacristy. What can we build here? Refresh your spells. And you can create relics here. You can create holy water here. Yeah. So no tools there. Again, we're looking specifically for tools. So reliquary. So you can create a charm, which is a magical buff. Sanctum buff. Reliquary buff. Sacristy. Holy water relic item. Sacristy. There was no buff, right? Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. Sacristy, reliquary. Nothing. And then we go to the pub. Gathering information, pub special, drinks. Those are potions. So magical potions, ale, beverage, observatory. Doesn't have any specific tools. You would think that there would be like brewer's tools here, perhaps, but they don't exist currently. So we'll have to, again, we're going with what actually exists here, and we'll come back. So we don't have brewer's tools here, but it would make sense. Like if you have a pub, you would have brewer's tools that you could then make ale, beverages, and magical potions with. It just kind of skips over that, I think. Yeah, it doesn't say specifically that you have brewery supplies. Observatory is buffs. Observatory, research, empower buff. Menagerie, Recruit creatures, that's fine. Meditation chambers empower buff self. Library, I don't think, yeah, it's just research for the library. Here we go. Laboratory craft options. Alchemist supplies. So, alchemists supplies plus adventure gear. Anything else? Is that it? And poison. You can create some poisons. Guild Hall. Huh. Okay, there's more going on here than I had originally given it credit for. Let's go into the guild hall. Recruit and power buff. But on top of that, there's adventurers. Harvest menagerie. Empower buff trophies. Baker's Guild. Equals chef's utensils. Oh, cook's utensils. Plus whatever, plus adventuring gear, which I don't think is actually a true statement for that. Baker's Guild, Brewers Guild, Brewers Guild equals Brewers supplies plus adventuring gear. To do so, Mason's Guild, Mason's Guild equals Mason's tools. Is that the right word for that? Mason's tools. Yeah, Mason's tool. Brewer supplies and cook supplies. Why is it brewer supplies as opposed and not brewers with an explanation point? I want with a parenthesis? No. Apostrophe. S. Thank you. Apostrophe. Quotation and apostrophe. I lost the word apostrophe for this thing. I think I've got the brain moles. Mason's tools. Plus adventuring. Plus structures. What do you guys build with this shit? Equals ale. Beverage. Yeah, structure. Baker's Guild. Food. Equals ale. Beverage. Equals food stuff. Foods. Question mark. Cap off my coffee and chase it with some water. Good stuff. Mason Guild. That's going to be structure. Anything else they can build? Yeah, structure. That's all they can build. Mason tools plus structures? Question mark. Shipbuilders guild equals to make airborne or waterborne vessel, player's handbook, you pay the full cost of the vehicle, and the work takes 1 day per 1,000 gold pieces cost. Equals make ships 1,000 gold per day. What rank is Guild Hall? It comes in at 17th level, which is 5th. Okay, by default we would have you building ships in a 40,000 gold piece in 1 season. That's 90 days. This has you building a 40,000 ship in 40 days, which is half the time. So maybe it's that a guild specifically halves the time of construction. I mean, require a recruit and power buff. Half time to create specific items as below. I'm thinking let's finish up the list. Shipbuilders and then Thieves Guild. Right. Thieves Guild equals steel. Non-magical item. Uncommon non-magical item. Yeesh. Pretty mundane. And the Masons Guild, how quickly can you construct stuff? Masons add defensive walls to your bastion at no cost. Alternatively, you can have the Masons perform the work for another character's bastion, provided the bastion is less than 1 mile to yours. $30 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet. C. Open that separately to look at a wall. Character can add defensive walls around the bastion. Bastion is 20 feet high. Each 5-foot square of defensive wall. Five by 5 by 20. Yeah, 35 by 5 by 20 per week. Okay. All right. So Guild Hall could be a specific facility that you invest points in separately to be able to improve the efficiency of specific item creations. So you could have a smithy that's capable of creating non-magical weapons and armor, as well as armaments as magical items in the listed time. And if you have a guild, a smithy guild that you've invested points into on top of being proficient in having a smithy, then you would be able to cut your time in half for making what that smithy guild could make. That's a decent idea. I like that. I think that has teeth. So we could have crafting guilds, we could have research guilds, like a spy network could be a guild versus sages could be a guild. For recruiting, the menagerie of like having a monster guild, sort of idea. Like adventuring guild would be like training monsters. That's kind of a cool idea. Versus a mercenaries guild, which would be soldiers that you're recruiting. So that takes care of that, the muster troops order that we were looking at. This would be a way to be able to retain those soldiers instead. So yeah, we could do guild. So we can make guilds. Yeah, we could do that. That's a way to defy this. So I like that idea. So I'm going to keep that. Every time we go through this and find these things, we find these little tangential pieces that fill in the gaps of what we were looking for. So I love this process. It's a little scattered. I respect that, but the results are good. Fruit of restoration. So greenhouse, healing potion, poison. And no, those are still just technically empower buff. But it doesn't have any specific things for gathering, like a poisoner's kit, for instance, isn't actually in here. So it makes sense that it would be. That's fine. Gardener's kits, that's just, enhancements. I'm sorry, empowerments. Nothing happens there. Trade, gambling hall. It's just trade, so skip that. Demiplane is fabrication. I like that idea. Power. Barrack. That's also just recruiting. No crafting there. Armory is a trade action. There's technically no construction happening here. No building of stuff. Archive. Research. Yep. Here we go. Crafting. Arcane study. Okay, we already know about arcane focus. We already know about making a blank book, and we already know about magic item arcana. And that's the end of it. Okay, so yeah, that's literally all the tools that are associated with this place. That's not a lot of stuff. So that's actually pretty damn thin. So let's go back down here and real quick, let's just flesh out this stuff. So items and rarities. Let's just crack through the equipment list. We can get through that pretty quickly. Weapons. Let's see if there's just an easy list of fetchable weapons. Nope. Club. Hand axe. Javelin. Light hammer. Mace. Quarter. sickle, spear, dart, light, crossbow, short bow, sling, battle axe, flail, glaive, great axe, great sword, halberd, lance, longsword, maul, morning star, pike, rapier, scimitar, short sword, trident, war hammer, war pick. After we get done with the items, we'll start breaking down the materials. Heavy crossbow, long bow, and then we have musket and firearm separately. There we go. Because all this shit's less than 100 gold. Everything's less than 100 gold except for your firearms. A pistol is a uncommon value above 100 to 400. And then a musket is rare quality, above 400 gold but less than 4,000 gold. Up to 100, up to 400, up to 4,000. That's right. And then very rare is 40,000, up to 40,000. And then legendaries up to 200,000. And then beyond 200,000 is artifact. And yeah, nothing else hits 100 gold piece. So all of these are technically common items. Do a quick list cleanup here like this. Almost there. Clean up pile 1. Almost there. Stay on target. There. Cool. Got the weapon list done. Already have the armor list done. All the artisan tools. And then inside the artisan tools, we break down all of the mundane equipment. So we have the artisan tools and then all the adventuring gear we have listed out here, of which it's all common until it isn't. Blah 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 blah. Ah, rare. Spyglasses rare is 1,000 gold. For whatever crazy reason. Almost there. There we go. Cool. That list is cleaned up, and now we can go through to the tools. Armor. Weapons. Yep. Adventuring gear. Boop. And vehicles. Dip. Mounts and attack. Adventurer's gear. Siege equipment. They don't actually have siege equipment listed. Like any costs for siege equipment in the DMG, that's I just think is a fallacy, a mistake is what I'm trying to say. But it is what it is, right? So, and then we have poison and their rarity. And then magic items. And I haven't gone so far as to like itemize magic items specifically because they're all at all rarities. It's like everything, but I guess I could potentially list them out, but that wasn't one of the things I was looking for doing. Knights! And the themes. Zip up. Hit save. Let's go down to the tools. Thank you, Timely Timer. Oh, good. A list of stuff. Alchemist stuff. Alchemist supplies is what we're looking at. So let's go up through the process and start dropping shit in. What? The only thing you can make with brewer supplies is antitoxins. That seems wrong. Where the fuck are we supposed to be able to make... Where do we make ale and beer and wine and stuff, man? That should be brewer supplies. Alas. There's something like real broken about this. No. You see why we have to go through this? Because there's like a lot of stuff that you should be able to make that isn't listed. And I'm fine with them not specifically listed with the tools, I guess. But yeah, we should at least list the stuff that they have just to be comprehensive. And then when we go through and we start looking at the facilities, we can start being a little bit more broad and like what facility could make this item. We can go through like the entire list as like these facilities can make these items and these are the materials that you need for each of them. And then we just break down the materials into plant, animal, and mineral. Those three types of resources. So every item, the facility that they can be in, and the materials that you need to craft them, and their value. That basically, that resolves that for you stuff. Everything you can make is either non-magical is crafting, or magical or consumable magic is empowering. And as long as you have a high enough rank facility to empower the item that you want, you can make your check like usual to see if it comes up with a glitch or something. And then for crafting, if the facilities you have can craft the thing that you want, you can have the thing. There you go. So let's go into antitoxin. That's so funny. Carpenter's tools. Yeah, we're just gonna work the problem. Why do I have calligrapher's tools twice? Cartographers. Thank you. Map. Okay. I bet cobbler's tools can make shoes. Climber's kit specifically. Okay, Chief. All right, let's just get through the list. Get through the list and we'll be through the list. Rations. Indeed we can, my friend. Indeed we can. Holy symbol. Interesting. Really? Whoa, that's a lot of shit you can make. Neat. Block and tackle with the mason tools. Sure. Block and tackle with the mason tools. Won't bump. Painter supplies makes druidic focus. Huh. But an arcane focus, holy symbol, sure. Just some weird a jug and a lamp. That's the only things you can use potter tools for, huh? A jug or a lamp. Hold on, is jug even on the list? There it is, jug. Fair enough. Yeah, it's just tools. Tinker tools. Weaver tools. And cool, other tools. What else can we do? Craft, costume. I was right. Costume. There you go. Herbalism kit. Basic poison. And there you go. And then we have our adventuring gear. Is there anything that I've missed? Nope. Okay. Yeah, okay, cool. That's all good. Okay, next step in the process. We start itemizing. There, and carriage wagon, cart, rowboat. Okay, cool. And let's see, rarity. Material. Tools. Let's go with mineral and plant. I think these are all going to be mineral and plant. And I think they're all going to require carpenter's tools and smithy tools. That just seems smith's tools. Those just seem obvious. Plant because they're wood. Mineral because of the nails and fittings and stuff that are generally made out of metal. And I suspect this is going to be the same. I really don't just see that. I just don't see that being much different. This would be animal, plant, and I would say brewer, tools, cooks, utensils. Yeah, that's probably right. Brewer supplies. For the most part, cook utensils. But I can see brewer supplies. Let's go with food. Ale, wine, spirits, common, plant, brewer, supplies. Animal, plant. Animal, let's go animal, plant, torpor. Sure, I don't know. Plant, animal, pale tincture, pink tincture, I don't know what burnt oath flame. I don't know what any of these things are. So animal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 animals. 1, 2 plant. Let's make. Let's get 5 plants in here just for the lulz. Four. Yeah, we'll go here. 5. I don't know what the truth. I don't know what the answer is supposed to be. This is just how I'm doing it. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Shut the front door. 5 that are animal and plant. 5 that are animal. 5 that are plant. That's pretty even. Poisoner's kit. That feels like a pretty universal answer to me. But I mean, what other kind of kits are there? There's poisoner's kits. There are herbalism kits. Herbalism kit, poisoners kit. What else you got? Alchemist supplies. Well, Poisoner Kit feels like a thing for all of these. Zip, 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 zip. My computer is zub-zubbing at me. My tablet is. My tablet zub-zubbing. So I'm thinking it's common, uncommon, and rare. We could drop brewer supplies. Poison kit across the board just seems to make sense. So maybe we could drop herbalism kit from the array. Keep poisoner's kit, but also use alchemical supplies and brewer supplies. So poisoner's kits are going to be universal. But as we go up in rarity, less things will be useful until all we can use as a poisoner's kit to make it. So I'm thinking common, rare will be poisoner's kit only. And then I'm thinking common can use brewer kits and alchemist supplies. Uncommon can use alchemist supplies. And then rare has to use... So common can use all of them. So, okay. So then we have alchemist supplies for uncommon. Yeah. And then rare is just poisoner's kit. That feels good to me. I like that. Ooh, instead of brewer supplies, let's make it herbalism kit. I like that. Let's go to mounts. Let's swap tack down and just gear. Because the only way you're going to get these things is through Harvester Trade. Craft. Of course. Zip. This might feel a little redundant, but right now we're just being thorough. There. But hey, it looks like it's working, right? Rarity. Empower. There. Easy peasy, right? Now we have the orders, the tools, the materials, the rarity, and the individual items. So this is starting to really break down into quality table stuff that you would use to actually do a game. Craft, trade. You can get any of these things you trade, of course. Nice. And then we drop down to the next section, which is specific orders and how they operate. Nice. Okay, now we're getting into the big list. Next up is material. Oh, that's a lot of gear. This is worth it, though. I'm glad we're doing this. I need to take a quick bio break, so... Be right back, guys. I just need to bio break real quick and refresh my water. So I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, y'all. I've seen lambs shake their tails. They can do it pretty quickly. think I'm going about this the wrong way. I think instead of like placing what order, I mean, obviously it's either going to be crafting or empowering for making stuff, or harvesting for like raising critters. I'm not quite back yet. I need another minute. But I'm like, orders isn't the right way, and we shouldn't have to care about tools specifically. Tools is for things like that you do on the road, and like, get out of here with that fucking thing. Thank you. So yeah, tools aren't necessary. It's facilities that we actually need to look at. So when we come back through, we're going to look at, we're going to have to, like, a workshop isn't quite right. Like the shipwright guild, that's the right way to be thinking about this, I think. But material will be our next step. Just give me a hot second, I'll be right back. So still got to resolve a thing or two here on my side, and then I'll be right back into it with you guys. After these messages, we'll be right back. This would be a great time for a sponsored plug, but I don't have sponsors. Officially caught up and done with all of our business, so let's get back to work. What time is it? 7:30. Yeah, we're looking pretty good around here. So we've been at this for like an hour and a half or so. Yeah. All right, cool. So let's look at what kind of materials would we need for each of these. Acid is going to generally be mineral, I think. Let's check it out. What is acid made from? Caustic acid is typically referring to sodium hydroxide, also known as lye or caustic soda, which is primarily made of electrolysis of sodium chloride, essentially breaking down salt to produce nasty shit. All right, so that's a mineral. Basically, what they're saying is that there, sir, is a mineral. So let's make it a mineral. If anyone out there in TV land, if this doesn't read true to you, let me know. Let's find out what alchemist fire is made from. Fire, amber, and salt. Magnesium and spirit of wine. Okay, so that feels like it would be mineral and plant. Like primarily. That's what feels right. So let's do that. First off, let's get back on base with like shit. There we go. Ammunition, arrow, mineral, plants. Bolt, mineral, plant, mineral, 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 animal, plant. I think antitoxin is generally a plant. That feels right. Arcane focus, mineral. Backpack is going to generally be animal, mineral. Ball bearings, mineral. A barrel, plant. It's got a little bit of mineral because of wood. This would be baskets, generally just going to be plant, plant, a bell, mineral, a blanket, plant, mineral, a book, generally plant. Yeah. It could be, oh yeah, it could be like vellum, animal, plant. Mineral, mineral plant, mineral, huh. What is candle wax made from? I want to say it's fat. Paraffin wax, which is a byproduct of petroleum refining. However, other options including beeswax and natural wax like bees, soy wax, palm wax, and sometimes blends different waxes. Okay, right. Yeah, animal, mineral, plant. This is all gonna be animal, mineral, plant. Because a mix of fabrics, leather, and buckles and reinforcements. Climbers kits, diplomats pack. I'm thinking, like a lot of these things. I'm thinking like a climbers kit, like probably. Well, geez, a climbers kit that probably include rope. So like yeah, animal, mineral, plants, like leather for like the pack itself, and then like the pythons would be mineral. The python hammer would be mineral. The grappling hook would be mineral, but the rope would be hemp or silk, which could be animal or plant. So yeah, there's a lot of like candles, animal, plant makes sense. Caltrops are all just I mean, this is generally. So when we're saying material, generally is what we're trying to say. Like generally, this is what these things are made of. You could have an exception to that, and by having an exception to that, you can actually make the thing exotic. So then I'm thinking facility. It's like orders are kind of obvious. It's like these are all craft. So I don't really have to have the order listed, but what type of facility you can make it in does make a difference. So I think that'll be the next thing that we do. Yeah. So probably have ammunition then. Listed with weapons. There we go. Oh, that'll be interesting to figure some of this stuff out. I think this is going to be fun. Oh, wait. No, it's material and then facility. There, and then facility. Yonder wander. Oh, wait. Not stables. No, settlement. There. That resolves that question. And we don't have to worry about tools, and we don't have to worry about orders. What we want are materials and then facilities. Okay, so if we're looking at... What I'm thinking is I want to override the idea of tools. Tools are things that characters use to craft things on a short list, an adventuring gear list for stuff that they can use in a dungeon. Shit, we need some ropes or something. Okay, well, great. Let me weave some. Let me use my weaver supplies and make rope for us, so we have that after this short rest or whatever. That feels like what that's actually intended for. So with that idea, we don't have to worry about crap. Like if you have a facility that's capable of producing this, it's assumed that it has the proper tools to do it. So being able to list that, yeah, you can make these these types of tools in your facility, that kind of makes sense. But I don't have to list out like what tools do you need, because you can have any of them. It's there you go. And like limiting the workshop to like 6 of the 10 tools, that's a list that's actually a subset of 19 tools. That feels wrong to me. So let's say that in the workshop you can make any of these workshop. So like in the facilities, we'll have to have probably like smithy, or like smithy plus workshop, or smithy plus laboratory, or laboratory plus workshop, like either or sort of affair. Facilities. Yeah, let's list facility. And then maybe it's like kicker effects. I haven't thought about yet, maybe. All right. So disguise kit, probably animal, mineral, plant, probably all 3. Come on, Kearney. There. There. Okay, cool. Is this all just gonna be the same shit? Like, these probably have all 3 of them. Yeah, I mean, it probably all. I mean, is that? That's. I mean, that's probably realistic. It's probably true. We'll go down to here and we'll go all on these as well. You could have bone dice. You could have parchment cards. You could have metal like jacks and then a rubber ball. Like caltrops and a rubber ball, right? Or a backgammon board, stone, like little stone stone chits, but they could also be bone, or they could be bits, and like the casing can be leather. Like there's a lot of stuff. So saying that you have to have all materials to be, honestly, to make tools and artisan tools or other tools, having access to all three resources that are all types of material, that actually feels pretty good, because that means you'd have to conveniently have all materials on hand, you have to be 3rd or higher rank. So and have points devoted specifically to a warehouse or to a storehouse to do so. I'm thinking, yeah, the idea was, that could work. The idea was when you perform when you issue an order and you make the Bastion D20 test. You don't automatically add a Bastion die to the D20 test roll unless you invest points. So the idea was that you would invest points separately into facilities that give you perks, like kind of like Bastion feats and features that bend the rules. But then you would also have to spend points whenever you want to roll a Bastion die. You would have to spend a number of resource points equal to the size of die that you want up to your max die size. 3rd rank has a D8. You'd spend 3 points on a D8, or 2 points on a D6, or 1 point on a D4. And so you tracked all these things separately. But Bastions don't have a lot of resources hanging out. So now I'm kind of thinking like you have X number of orders that you can issue. That hasn't changed. It's your rank plus 1, so like 2 at 1st rank and 6 at 5th. So that doesn't change, and you can just do those as usual, and it's a D20 plus your rank like usual. Now I'm thinking, instead of like spending points separately, one, to maintain a facility that grants ongoing perks while it's maintained, make that like a default die that you get. Like if you've invested, if you have a facility, what order is that facility devoted to? Sometimes it could automatically be devoted to, for instance, it could like a storehouse. Could be a storehouse is useful for storing materials that you've harvested and for materials that you've traded. So if you have if you're a 2nd rank guild and you have a storehouse, you could put up to 2 points into that storehouse. In this format, it could be 2 points in trade or 2 points in harvest. I guess you could technically put it in both those. So it'd be a total of 4 points, 2 in trade, 2 in harvest. So it'd be a really big warehouse, but that warehouse would be larger than your guild at this point. That makes sense, because yeah. So let's say you had a 4th rank. Yeah, if we had a 4th rank, 2nd rank. If we have a 2nd rank Bastion and we want to put a storehouse into it, we can have up to 2 ranks maintained in a storehouse. That could be for trade, or it could be for harvesting. It could be for both. 1 point into trade, 1 point into harvest, or up to 2 points in trade and 2 points in harvest. There you go. And it would be 2 separate warehouses, 2 storehouses, 1 for trade and 1 for harvesting. Let's say I just had 1 storehouse and I put 1 point in each. Since I put 1 point into each, I could put a D4 in either trade rolls or a D4 into harvest rolls. But if I wanted to ramp it to a D6, I would have to spend a resource to get it to 6. If instead I had a warehouse, if I had a storehouse that had 2 points in trade with 0 points in harvest, when I made a trade roll, I would automatically always be able to roll a D6, but I would not automatically have a D4 added because I don't have any facilities that are devoted to harvesting. That's our solution there. Hold on, I'll be right back. I think that's a solution. So that's going to encourage you to want to think about different facilities that you want to invest in. And once you have, you're permanently invested into that order. So when you get a facility, that facility is devoted to a specific order. And that means that we don't have to worry about having proficiency in orders anymore. You can perform any order, and if you have facilities, that's when you get to add die rolls for free. If you don't have any facilities, you can still spend points to get the die, but now it's going to cost you resources to do so. And in the thought for a craft check is when you issue that order, you get whatever die roll you would normally get for free. And then if you relegate the task to your Bastion instead of your heroes to resolve, if they want to get dice, they would not automatically get dice. They would have to spend points to get dice. That I think that makes sense. Because the facilities that you're using are already being tied up making this thing. So you'd have to... Yeah, that makes sense. Huh. No, because it takes an extra order. It takes an extra order for your Bastion to do it. And you only have so many orders per turn. So if you're double dipping an order because you failed the initial die roll, and then you spend a second order to try to resolve it, you only have, what, one secondary resolution per turn. So the feat tax is the order. What if I want to issue additional orders? Am I automatically have my facilities? Because once I have 5 points worth of facility, I'm capped out for a D12 to automatically roll whenever I use the order associated with devoted to that facility. Do I want that? Do I need that? So one idea is, because each facility requires X amount of points to be able to make use of it, as opposed to putting X amount of points in and then getting all of the. Maybe it just needs a minimum. Instead of requiring X points to invest in, maybe it's like instead of requiring 3 points to have an observatory, maybe it's just 1 point for an observatory, and I have to be third rank to get it. So it's different. Like normally you can't spend 3 points on a facility unless you are third rank. In this case, it would be because you are third rank, you can have an observatory, but then we don't have to make the cost 3 points. We can make the cost just 1 point. So like you spend 1 resource, and now you have whatever this thing. There's 29 different facilities already, and if you spent 1 point per facility, by the time you get to 25 points, you're already a 5th rank organization, 5th rank Bastion. So you're already capping out, and you haven't even maxed out all of the facilities that are in the place. So maybe that's the way we need to be thinking about this instead. If it's related to research, it's 1 point. We get the perks from that thing. And maybe it would be like you can't have more facilities than your rank in any particular, like a third rank Bastion could put 3 points into trade, but once you have those 3 points, you don't have enough. You can't get any more facilities. So that would mean that it would be 1 point per facility, and then the gatekeeping would be what rank is your facility, what rank is your Bastion to have that facility. I think that makes sense. Let's go visit our list of facilities real quick. So craft and empowerment, all these things that have stuff listed, they can all do craft and empowerment or empower. So craft and empower, by far, we've got plenty of shit. So now let's look at the other things. So craft is covered, empower is covered. Let's look at harvest. Is harvest covered? We need at least 5 things for harvest for this to be like a good idea. Empower buff. So harvesting, that's what we're looking for. Technically, garden and greenhouse are listed as harvesting. Even though they can craft and empower, because we recategorized poisons and potions from harvesting into crafting, but like you could harvest equal, yeah. So we can still have equals harvest. Yeah, let's think these things through. Demiplane is listed as empower. Equals craft, empower. And arcane study. Craft, empower, technically. Research, trade, recruit, craft, empower. Recruit, empower, buff. Laboratory equals craft, empower. Also equals craft and power. craft and power equals craft and power. Equals craft and power. Trade, recruit, and power buff, research, recruit, workshop, equals craft and power. Yeah, we're going to do that differently. Okay, so what do we have for harvest? Storehouse is trade and harvest. There we go. Trade and harvest. Technically, harvest comes first. So, harvest, trade. Storehouse is for harvest and trade. Let's see. 1. Trade. 2. Anything else for harvest? 3, 4. We only have 4 things for harvesting. Is that surely that's not true. Show me the truth. I must be missing something. There must be something categorized as harvesting and I'm not catching it. Right? Show me. Fucking show me. Garden. Greenhouse. Reliquary. Oh my god, wow. Huh. Okay, well, I mean, that does click us in at 5, so I'll take it. I'm cheating, but I'll take it. Yeah, harvesting doesn't feel right there, but... All right, we'll let it slide for now. Okay, cool. So let's see. What we actually want to do is go down here. Club generally is going to be plant. And this is going to be, let's do our tabs. Mineral, plant. 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 Mineral. Generally, these are mineral. This is just a generalization. mineral, plant. Why do I always put plant before mineral on these things? Mineral. Come on, Kearney. Mineral. Plant. Is that right? What does our woodcarver's tools do? Quarterstaff, great club, club. Yep. And a whole lot more. Okay, cool. There we go. Very good. So there's our plants and stuff. Padded, leather, studded, padded. Let's do them separately. Mineral. Let's go with animal, mineral, plant, animal, mineral, plant. Animal, mineral, plant. Mineral, plant. Studded. Plant. Leather is animal, plant. And padded is plants. There we go. So far, so good. So what? Weapons, ammunition, armor, artisan tools. We already know is all, and we have these items already listed up. Wait a second, and then we got these stuff listed down below, so we don't have to worry about itemizing these things until we actually get into the items, which we'll get into. Oh, did we do all these already? Holy shit, we did. Component pouch, animal, mineral, plant. Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is where we stopped, apparently. Huh? Why did we stop there? Oh, because it's a bathroom break. That's right. I took a bio break. Speaking of bio breaks, I think when we get done with this list, we'll probably take a break for the night. I'll be back tomorrow morning for more Eberron art, and lunchtime tomorrow around 1:30 Seattle time. But now that we're breaking down this full list here, I think after sleeping on it, I'll be able to have a better idea of resource management and how we want to break items up into different facilities. Settlement and stables, right. That makes sense. All right, facilities. Don't know our facilities here. Let's just finish off our list like we were talking about. So let's keep on keeping on. Druidic focus. Let's go with animal, plants. Dungeoneer's pack, animal, mineral, plant. How about I just copy that? Mineral, a flask is generally just going to be animal, like leather, like is a skin, leather skin, right? Healer's kit. Generally animal and plant. Let's just go with that. Just for the lulz. Holy symbol. There. Holy water. Animal. What is that? Water. It's not really any of those, is it? Holy shit. Interesting. You don't make water. Technically, we're going to call holy water. Holy water is technically, I think, empowered. So I'm going to be cheeky and drop poison down with holy. I'm going to put it down here in holy water, down in poisons. It's not quite where it's supposed to be. No, it can't be in poisons either. It's a common. It's technically okay. It's like it's a magic item then. Potion of healing. Holy water. There we go. There we go. That is the proper way. That's how we're going to do it. That's how we're doing it anyway, because this was water. You can't just make water. It's just water. So you're empowering the water with holy energy. That is, I think, an accurate statement. So, hunting trap. Let's go with plant, mineral, ink, animal, plant. Plant. Mineral. Jug. Mineral. Ladder. Plant. Yeah, mineral and plant. Why do I keep putting plant first? Lamp, mineral, 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 animal, plants, mineral, plant. Generally an animal, it could be plant. Paper is in fact plant. Parchment is also in fact plant. Why am I writing plant? Perfume is animal, plant. A pole is generally a plant. Iron pot is mineral. A pouch is generally going to be an animal. Priest pack is going to be all 3. Quiver is going to be animal. Portable ram. Mineral. Plant. Rations. Animal. Plant. Generally plant. Animal. Plant. Generally a sack is going to be a plant. Like hemp. Scholar's pack is generally going to be all 3. Mineral. We'll include plant as a handle. Iron spike is going to be mineral. Spyglass is going to be mineral. Screen is generally going to be plant. Tack is going to be all 3. Writing tack is probably the way to put that. Dude, come on. Thank you. Tent is generally plant matter. Tinderbox is generally plant. Mineral, plant. A torch is generally a plant. A vial is generally mineral. And a water skin is generally animal. There we go. So now we've got the basics of what materials, the generic material you would need. Just generally, you can always have exceptions. You could have a sack made of some sort of mineral, I guess, if you're doing something exotic, or like the sack could be made out. It could be a leather sack. That's generally going to be. Yeah, you could do that. It would generally be burlap or hemp or something, which is plant, but you could make a leather sack. I'm not sure what a mineral sack would be, like a sack made of gold. That doesn't make much sense. But you could, I mean, like you could have like gold inlays or like buttons and stuff on it, in which case then, yeah, you would need to have minerals. But generally, robes are made of cloth. Generally, sacks are made out of hemp. So this is a generalization, and we'll just have a caveat in there that like this is just generalities. So there you go. So the next thing that we have to do is going to be facilities, and it is 8:30 here now. So I've been at this for a good 2 some odd hours. What, 3 almost? Is that right? Yeah, 2 hours 40 minutes. I think this is a good stopping point. Yeah, I don't need tools for crafting. I love that we have these things here for what type of tools can be done. Rare is going to be, this just doesn't feel like the right way to parse this. Holy. Yeah, I'm going to have to just do a bunch of deleting. Because yeah, we already know what the orders are to create these things. What we don't know is the facilities. They already told us you can make basic poison. You can make poison while you're on the road with a poison kit. Anything that would make sense that you could use, you could use. I like this list though, so I don't want to just throw it away. I think it has value. So I want to grab this and just like, let's throw it over here instead. There, I'm gonna hit File, Save As. Let's go to in Command. Poison. Poison by Kit. There. And now I can drop this and just go back to facilities, because the tools are what you would use on adventures in the field. Facilities have the tools automatically equipped at the facility. Because it's always assumed that a facility has the tools needed to perform the fulfill the order that was issued. And when you make your die roll, if you fail the die roll, there's a decent chance that what's missing is the correct materials that you need to craft the item. Or like you don't have the proper plans to empower an item with that magic. But it could also be like the personnel that you have in your Bastion aren't sufficient. So like they haven't, even though your Bastion's leveled up, maybe for this particular task, you don't actually have somebody on hand who can help out with it right now. Like for instance, rarity, and then yeah, facilities. It's going to make a huge difference for these items. Okay. Yeah, this is we're laying in good spots here, so this is gonna be good. Let's back that down a little bit. Facility. Singular facility. So here's the facilities, and again, we're gonna like if you are like say a third rank, if you're a third rank Bastion, and you want to get into smithy, like making making armor and shit like that. So you could then pick up the for crafting. Obviously, you can take the smithy. That's pretty obvious. And let's see, what's another thing you can take for crafting? And you also want to empower. So smithy gives you 1 for crafting and 1 for empower automatically. So yeah, these things can do double or triple duty, I suppose. Let's see, what's another good one? A guild hall. Recruit. And we'll probably call this one crafting. Harvest. Recruit, empower. Yeah, that feels good. Greenhouse, harvest, craft, empower. Demi-plane, craft, and power. So yeah, we're going to be expanding on what these things do. Armory is currently meant for trade. Armory, I think we should have it be craft as well. Armor. Ammo. Armor. Shields. Weapons. And armament. So an armory, that makes sense. And then guild hall being recruiting or crafting. Crafting for a guild hall, crafting for an armory, crafting for a smithy. That takes us to 3rd rank. And then if we wanted to keep on with that, get the smithy, and then we could pick up like we could pick up the workshop, and eventually, what's a 4th thing that we'd want to probably just pick up? Maybe a laboratory, or so we have the smithy, the armory, the workshop, guild hall for specialist workers to cut times in half, and I guess I could like get a demi-plane to do extra dimensional shit, or yeah, a laboratory could work, or any of these other side things, I suppose. A pub. A pub. That's technically crafting for magic potions, ale, beverages. So yeah, that'd be 5. That would qualify. Harvest, craft, reliquary would, yeah, I mean, all these things would qualify. So I could just pick up 5 of them. And once I have all 5 of them, I would automatically be able to, whenever I do a crafting check, I would automatically be able to put the D12 into it whenever I have an order. It'll get the D12 for free. I could spend a point to re-roll the D12 to see if I can get a better result. If I have a complication, I then spend, I then use one of my orders to try to, if I wanted to, with the Bastion, I could resolve the complication with the Bastion itself. It would cost me an order. And I could have more orders. I could purchase more orders if I want to spend resources on them, but I don't want to be in a place where I could just spend like 25 points on 25 orders because each is worth an order. I don't like that idea. Maybe I'm okay with, like, you can spend a point to yeah, you can have extra orders up to your rank. So you can spend 1 point per extra order, but at 5th rank, for instance, you would cap out with 5, so you'd have 5 orders for 5 points, which is expensive. But it allows you to spend more orders, which would automatically be able to get points on. Because they're spending extra resources to issue the extra spend the extra orders to have added manpower working towards those orders that you've issued, so it warrants the extra resources spent. And the facilities themselves carry the skill for the die roll. So yeah, just an extra point, it's a meta currency usage. It's a gamifying mechanic. It doesn't actually represent. Yeah, it has representation because you're spending extra manpower to double and triple duty. But that allows you, if you have a complication, that you can spend a point. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. This is feeling pretty good. So the next step for us is going to be going through the list of gear and determining which facilities that already exist, which of those do we want to feed into. Like a club, obviously, like an armory or a smithy could easily make those, for instance. One two 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 two one two one two one two one two one two one two three 1 2 3 2 2 1 2 3 2 1 2 2 2 1 2 3 2 3 I hear you, timer. Thank you. Oh yeah, that is the proper way. Okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and shut that down. We're done for the day. Okay, yeah, I'm going to cut it here. The next time we come in, we will, let's go through here for all the facilities, see what makes sense, and that'll take us one step closer to being done with this. So cheers to that. 3, 1 2 3. Almost there. Get out of here. Come on. All right. Nope, not done yet. Okay, cool. Good. Okay, cool. Okay, we're officially done for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow to do this more at lunch. We'll figure out which facilities you can, like how many facilities you can make each item in. That will help steer our future towards figuring out, like, are there any gaps in there's 29 facilities currently. Maybe there's more facilities we should standardize, like, to add into the equation overall. So we'll see. We're figuring it out. Thanks a lot for anyone that's checking this stuff out. Check out the other books I have on DM's Guild that are already published. They're all for preview. Jump in my Discord if you want to sharpen your knives with me. Like, subscribe, all the blah. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you.